Alright, what's up here, y'all? Smokkey Mike. It's gonna be a segment I'm gonna call Story Time with Smokkey Mike. Today, I think I'm gonna talk about an incident that happened back in 2000. Living in the Berg West, doing some work on my buddy's pickup. It was a 1980 Toyota pickup, two-wheel drive, long bed. And so it was the beginning of when I started smoking. Like, I had smoked a little here and there in school, high school, and that once, and got into smoking a little more at 18 and 19, and I'm now probably 19 or 20, is somewhere in 2000, so early 2000. I could still have been 19. I'm not sure. Anyways. So we're out working on the truck. We've got to change the rear end. He blew the rear end out because he drove that truck. My friend Bobby drove that truck like a maniac, and it was his racer type thing, even though it wasn't souped up or nothing, But he just beat it up and freaking, was in the gravel doing burnouts and slides and whatever he could do to freaking be cool in his old beat up old '80s long bed pickup. So he blew the rear end out. We got to change it out. He's got another rear end. So we jack it up in my driveway, and my driveway is not like paved driveway or nothing. I'm down in the Berg West, is in the hood, or I don't know if you call it the hood or the ghetto or whatever. But at one time it was the hood. Now I just say it's the ghetto. So we jack it up. We've got the whole rear end unloosened, and but one one thing that I didn't mention is we were smoking bong rips and stuff like that, and before we decided to go out and do this, and at noon or so on a Saturday, two of my friends are there, Bobby and my friend Gary, and Gary's just there to make fun of us, laugh, joke, whatever, not at all to help, just there to comment, and me and Bobby are doing the work. So we smoke, and like I smoked at this time, but I wasn't like I wouldn't say I was an average pothead like I am, obviously, like I am now, where I can smoke and function. Like when I smoked back in the day, it was like smoke, give me a freaking remote controller or video game controller, and freaking plop me on the couch, and I'm stuck doing that. I didn't like to go out and do things as much and stuff because I felt stupid, like, and it really put me down, which I liked. Now I can do whatever I need to do. It's not that big of a deal. It's just an average day when I pull up a blunt out, or a joint, or a bowl, or take a bong rip, or the vape stick, or whatever we're doing at the time. So, anyways, back to the story. So I'm high, and like I said, I'm not an average everyday pothead. I did smoke more than not, or more often than not, but I wasn't an average, pothead like I am. Under the truck, I've got the rear end unbolted. It's loose. We've got the truck on jack stands. We're in a driveway that's not paved. It's a gravel / grass grown through. It's soft, but it's not like mud or nothing. It's a solid ground. I'm underneath the truck, and I'm bench pressing the rear end as my buddy's lifting from like the hub, not the hub, the brakes, or the drums. He's pulling from the drums from the other end of the axle, the rear end. And I would lift it up like a bench press, and then as he would pull to the left, I would bench press it over to my side and set it down on the ground, and then I'd reposition myself and do it again, bench press it and move it over. That because it was it's a rear end, it's heavy, but it's a Toyota, so it's not extremely heavy. And the reason we were doing this is because the rear end is mounted on top of the leaf springs, so you can't just like drop it out and roll it out. You got to pull it out, of the leaf spring, and so the last time we'd go to move it, I drop it down, and my buddy doesn't stop pulling. He keeps dragging the rear end, and it's not through the leaf spring yet, so he ends up knocking catching the leaf spring with the rear end as he's pulling it. It shifts the truck, and I realize, oh shit, the truck is gonna fall down on me. And I'm laying with my pelvis directly under the bumper, like license plate bumper right there at the end, with my legs hanging out, halfway in, halfway out. And I realize this is about to crush. I'm on my back. It's going to crush me, probably break my pelvis, maybe hit me in the nads, whatever. Something bad's about to happen to me because I know this truck's coming down because it's already rocking. So I instinctively turn to my side, which is funny because I'm kind of laying like that now, with my hips up like here instead of here. I roll to the side here, and the truck falls off the jack stands as I figured it was going to, and freaking as I rolled to the side, it fell down and smashed me on the hip, and which is, instead of falling another 6 to 8 inches, down to my pelvis when laying flat, I turned to the side, so it was a shorter fall. It hit me, in the hip thigh area. And the funniest thing, like, again, I mentioned it's an 80 Toyota. It's not a big, heavy truck, so I'm not dead or anything, obviously, from it. But instantly it happens, and my friends are like freaked. They're like, Mike, but their voices were cracking, like you could hear, like, oh shit, they think they might have just killed or seriously injured one of their good friends, So I could hear it in their voice, like them, like, "Oh man, are you okay?" And I start laughing because I realized I'm not injured. I'm hurt. I'm sore. Hurt from the truck on, but I'm not injured. So, and I just start laughing because I could hear it in their voice that they're scared to death that they just killed me, and again, fucking high. Smoked. I'll let you know though. After this, I did not freaking, for a long time, did not try to do anything. Don't ever operate heavy machinery. Yeah, I didn't read the label at the time. So, anyways, so I'm laughing, and I'm like, guys, relax. Just lift up the truck so I could get out. So, again, it's an 80 Toyota. It's light. So they run over to the back. Bobby's a bigger guy, probably 5'8", 5'9", 5'9", 5'10", 200 pounds, something like that. Gary's smaller. He's probably like 5'7", 140 pounds. We're all like 19 at the time, 18, 19 at the time. And so yeah, they run over and they lift up the truck, and I decide, I realize, like, I don't know if they're how long they're gonna hold the truck up, and da 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 da. So I slide myself back under the truck, where the rear end and pumpkin area, the rear end used to be. So there's a space in there, and I'm like, they're trying to hold it. I'm like, it's cool, guys, just drop it. And so they're like, huh? And I'm like, I'm fine. And so they let it go, put it back, set the truck back down. I'm inside the little pocket where the rear end used to be, and and they're like, what do we do? And I'm like, dude, just jack up the truck and I'll get out. So they did. They threw the jack up back under. It should have been under there from the beginning, which I've learned from that situation, the jack stays under even if there are jack stands. Safety first, chief. So yeah, yeah, they jacked it up. I freaking crawled out one of the side of the where the leaf spring was, that was open, where the rear end still wasn't hanging in, because the rear end was still hanging out of the left passenger side of the leaf spring, and I crawled out the driver's side. Had a huge bruise, like freaking, I don't even know, grapefruit, watermelon, whatever. It was a huge bruise on my hip. Didn't break anything, but a big bruise on my thigh and hip from it. But dude, it was so funny, the sound of my buddies' voices. They thought they killed me, and it showed, like, oh shit, we think we killed our friend. You could hear it in their voice, but I was fine. It was funny. And the moral of the story is, do not try to operate heavy machinery when you're high, especially if you're not a regular smoker, someone who smokes on the daily, a pothead or a stoner. If you just smoke for fun with your friends, don't try to do a bunch of stupid shit, man. Even if it's not stupid shit, it's stupid shit when you're high. get some tolerance, build up, whatever. Wait a little later in life to do stupid shit or try to do stuff when you're high when you can actually function with it. Yeah, it was a good story. Um, my buddies will see it and they'll remember it and probably laugh about it. We're not friends anymore, but that was 13 years ago. All right, so that was Smoky Mike's first section or whatever segment, first segment of stories with Smoky 2Y, Smoky Mike, and that was a near-death experience, sorta. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching.